The date is October 13th, 2016. I'm on bus 609 and we have an issue with this system. I have replaced both the charging cradle and the junction box with a new junction box and charging cradle. And we've had consistent issues with this system not charging the phone. Now, the phone itself also has been replaced to eliminate that potential cause. When we turn the ignition on, the phone does not begin to charge. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. As you can see here, the phone still has not started charging even after we've turned the key into the on position. All of the wiring has been verified to be connected correctly, and this is not an all the time situation. Sometimes when we turn the key on, it does begin charging. Prior to replacing the junction box and the charging cradle, I had just replaced the junction box. And sometimes with that system, when we would turn the key on, the charging wouldn't begin, but we could simply unplug the grounding / microphone cable here and plug it back in, and it would begin charging again. With this particular charging cradle, it is not beginning to charge even with that. Also, checking with the connection down here, sliding it up and letting it slide back into position, it does not begin charging. With this unit, I have turned the phone off and turned it back on, and it has begun to charge on the last two tests. We'll see this time if it's going to start back up and start charging when it comes back on. See, as we can see, the phone is beginning to charge when we turn the power off on the phone. So now, when we turn the power back on the phone, it will most likely show that it's charging. We'll wait for it to completely boot up, and then I'll do another ignition off cycle. I'll turn the ignition off, let the charging completely stop, turn the key back on, and see if we have a connection charging again. Okay, phone is charging, currently at 43%. I'm going to allow the phone to boot up completely, allow it to connect to the AT&T network. Okay, the phone is connected to the network. So now I'm going to turn the key off, and in 15 seconds the charging should stop. Okay, charging stopped after 15 seconds. Now we'll turn the key back on, see if it begins to charge the phone. As we can see here, the charging is not working right now. Again, just for a second test, I'll turn the power off on the phone and see if upon powering down it does begin to charge. Okay, as we see here, the phone is charging now once we power cycle the phone. Also, with this phone, with the power off on the phone and the ignition key off, I'm going to turn the key on to see if, with the phone in the off position, if the charging commences in that situation. So, turn the key on. It appears that the phone does begin charging when it's in the off position, when the phone is powered off. Yes, it does begin charging. I'm going to power cycle a couple times, ignition cycle a couple times to see if this continues. Okay, the key off. It will continue for 15 seconds as normal. Okay, 15 seconds has elapsed. So let me turn the ignition key back on. And again, charging commences as soon as we turn the key on, as long as the phone is in the off position. And one more time, I'm going to turn the phone on, let it boot up, and then we'll turn the ignition key off and see if upon turning the ignition key back on, it does start charging again. Okay, phone is charging, 43%. We'll wait till we connect to the network. Okay, connected to the network, so I'm going to turn the key off. 15-second time lapse. Okay, charging has stopped. Now we'll turn the key back on. And again, the same issue. Phone does not begin charging when the key is turned on.